Phil and Brian back with you on SportsCenter. Dexter Lawrence was one of the Giants' defensive stars last season. Now he's off to Cincinnati. Blockbuster deal. Includes the Giants getting the Bengals' number 10 pick in the draft. Bengals get a linchpin for the defense. Giants get premium draft compensation. And Sexy Dexy gets what he coveted, a new big money extension. Let's bring in our senior NFL writer, Jeremy Fowler, to give us some perspective on all of this. I guess the main question is, why was this deal done?
Yeah, but the people I talked to believe that the Bengals were in no man's land with that 10th overall pick. A lot of the premier defensive players that they could have targeted were probably going to go ahead of them at 10. So if they weren't guaranteed to get a guy they wanted, why not just take the guesswork out of it, get a star, premier 28-year-old defensive tackle with pass rush ability who takes up double teams. Defensive tackles age well. They can play well into their 30s. I was told that was part of the thinking for Cincinnati. And he's got somewhat of a reasonable contract, 2 years and $40 million left. Now, they have to rework it. They have to come to a deal. A lot of people around the league were wondering when Cincinnati made the trade, they had the problems of Trey Hendrickson, T. Higgins, other contracts. Can they get this done? But talking to people around the league, I suspect that they will try to work out a deal here. And I talked to a source who said Dexter Lawrence is jacked about this trade. He gets a chance to go play with Joe Burrow, chase a championship. They're in their window right now, so he likes the change of scenery. Very happy about it. All right, that's a good thing there. By the way, 6 teams now have multiple picks now in the first round. Jets, Browns, Chiefs, Dolphins, Cowboys, and, of course, now the Giants. So let's take a look here at the updated top 10 picks in the first round of the NFL draft. And, you know, I guess the question, when you look at these teams here, Jeremy, what movement could we see? And I'm talking early Thursday night of the draft. Yeah, B, there's a supply and demand issue because a lot of teams on that list would like to move back, including the Arizona Cardinals, Tennessee Titans at 4, maybe even the Giants at 5, Browns at 6. You could see a situation where somebody is trying to get back to get more draft capital. You need a team to move up. We mentioned Dallas. They got the 12th and 20th pick. They want to fortify their defense. They will be a threat. That's at least the feeling around the league to potentially trade up. But they're not tied to that. They're also comfortable sitting put if the right deal is not there. So they're going to be working the phones most likely this coming week. And there's going to be some movement. Chiefs are believed to be a threat, potentially up or down. They're sitting at number 9. They got some needs to address. That is also a team to watch. And this is the man who will keep us updated, Jeremy Fowler, with the latest. Thank you. Sir. Thank you. Breaking news here in the Sports Center. Just moments after Jeremy mentioned Dexter Lawrence and the Bengals will look to get the extension done. Our Adam Schefter sent this out. The defensive tackle has passed his physical and is getting a 1-year, $28 million extension with the Bengals. He's now under contract with Cincinnati.
Câu lạc bộ Công an Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh trong khung thành sẽ vẫn là thủ thành Patrick Lê Giang, thủ vệ Huy Toàn, Hoàng Phúc, Quốc gia và Mạch Ngọc Hà. Ở phía trên là Quốc Cường, Đức Phú và Mark Milos. Ba của phía trên là Quang Ngô, Tiến Linh đội trưởng và Rafael Utis. Như vậy đây là trận đấu mà cao thủ Công an Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh sử dụng 2 ngoại binh. Trên băng ghế dự bị của họ còn một ngoại binh nữa, đó chính là Endrick, cầu thủ mang số 14, còn đội hình ra sân của câu lạc bộ Công an Hà Nội với thủ thành Nguyễn Felix, ba hậu vệ Adu Minh, Đình Trọng và Minh Phúc. Phía trên là Cao Beden Quang Vinh, Lê Phạm Thành Long, Steven Mock và Lê Văn Đô. Họ sẽ hỗ trợ cho chuyền bóng. Sút. Không vào. Cơ hội quá tốt rồi khi mà Quang Hải đã thu hút một loạt các cầu thủ áo trắng để tạo ra một khoảng trống rất lớn dành cho Phạm Minh Phúc. Thương ấm lại đi ra ngoài. Steven Mock hơi lố đà một chút nhưng bóng vẫn trong chân cao gió đỏ. Cú đá với cú đá cú lực vừa rồi. Có vẻ như là Rafael Utis đang hơi bị ngợp trong trận đấu này. Dứt điểm vẫn không thành nhưng vẫn không vào. Và bóng đến chân Quách Đào. Hồ Chí Minh, niềm tin được đặt vào Lee Williams và Đinh Thanh Bình. Và đó thắng một. Steven Mock. Sút. Cú đá tiếp theo. Đấy rồi.
Up front, so he can play anything from center, guard, or tackle last season. No touchdowns. He is a true shutdown corner, and if the Giants do with that second first-round pick, I think it makes a lot of sense.
So you've got receiver, safety, offensive lineman, and corner, so an opportunity to zig and zag at 5 and 10. Jordan, another team with 2 picks in the first round, the Cowboys, 12 and 20 overall. Who do you see the Cowboys targeting there?
Another team, as you mentioned, that has 2 first-round picks. And at that number 12 pick, I think they need to get somebody that can come in and contribute right away. And what better person than Rueben Bain, the defensive end out of Miami, who was my top-ranked edge rusher in this year's draft class. I have Arvo Reese as an off-ball linebacker. So with him, he gives you every versatility to really play any position up front for Christian Parker's defense. I think Rueben Bain will be a home run selection for them as far as somebody that can come in and play right away with that first-round pick that they have in this year's draft. And then another player that I think fans need to familiarize themselves with that could be in contention for the second first-round pick for the Cowboys at number 20 overall is Chris Johnson, the cornerback out of San Diego State, who's really caught a lot of momentum over here over the backstretch of the pre-draft process. The biggest question that he needed to answer was just how fast was he. He ran a 4.440 at the combine. He was terrific down in Mobile, Alabama at the Senior Bowl as well. So Chris Johnson, he has a chance to be the second cornerback off of the board. Yes, ahead of Jermon McCoy and behind Mansour Delane. That would not be surprising at all to me.
6 teams have multiple firsts, and just the Giants and Jets alone count for a quarter of the top 16. Jordan has a full 7-round, 257-pick mock coming out Monday.
Guys, to the NFL, it was a blockbuster trade yesterday as we saw the New York Giants trade Pro Bowl defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence to the Cincinnati Bengals for the number 10 pick in this week's draft. The Giants now own the rights to the number 5 and number 10 picks in the first round. The trade comes after the Giants and Lawrence reached an impasse in negotiations on a new deal. So here's what the NFL Draft Top 10 looks like now. The Giants hold 2 top 10 picks for just the second time in the common draft era, and the recent history is worth noting. The last 2 times a team pulled that off, it gave us Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze for the 2024 Bears and C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson Jr. for the 2023 Texans. All right, you hear those chimes, so now we bring in senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler. Jeremy, what are you hearing about what the Giants are going to do with those top 2 picks in the first round?
Yeah, Scooby, the Giants now have a ton of options at their disposal. They are in a position to control the top half of this draft. So there is love there in the building for running back Jeremiah Love. But the problem is they have a lot of needs, some premium positions that they need to try to go fill. I talked to a few teams last night coming off of this trade, what they think the Giants might do. They said, hey, they may go safe for that first pick. Maybe Miami offensive tackle Francis Maui-Noga or Sonny Styles, the star linebacker out of Ohio State. Also, they have some receiver options here. Some of the top guys, they can now get one at 5 or 10 if they want. You got Carnell Tate out of Ohio State. Maybe they go there at 5. 10, they did some work on Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. They were at his workout a couple days ago in Arizona. So they are in a position to really mix it up here. Joe Shane, the GM, is not afraid to make a trade, too. So he's got those 2 picks. You can try to get a team to move up if you can maneuver a little bit, maybe even get more draft capital.
That's incredible. 5 and 10, man. Giants fans are feeling good right now. So let's stay in the NFC East. The Cowboys, they currently hold 2 first-round picks as well, 12 and 20. What more can you tell us about their approach heading into the NFL draft?
Yeah, so I talked to somebody with the team. They said they're not necessarily tied to have to make a trade despite all the speculation around Dallas at 12 and 20, trying to move up to get a star player. Now, they do like some of these guys at the top, like Sonny Styles that we mentioned, a few others that they will target. Maybe Rueben Bain out of Miami falls to them a little bit because of what he's dealing with the short arm length and the careless driving charge he had a few years ago. So they're going to be in the mix on all these defensive guys. Heavy defense with those first 2 picks, however they package it. They're not necessarily afraid to have to give up the 20th pick to move up if they do, but they have not been working the phones a lot this week. I'm told they're taking a patient approach, but they are the team that many are watching because of the obvious need on defense and there's armed 2 first-round picks early on. So they're going to maneuver at some point. They're going to fill some major needs come Thursday night.
This is so fun. I can't wait till the NFL draft. Jeremy Fowler with the latest. Thank you.
Thank you.